Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Convince Me. Here it's Tuesday night when you're watching this, 6 o'clock on the dot. I'm Andy Rutherford, joined as always by Brian Bennett, Casey Elrod. Gentlemen, how are you today?
Good. How is everyone else?
We're here. Bennett, how goes it?
Okay, doing okay. All right.
All right, guys. As we told you at the end of last week's episode, this will be our first, what we're calling hodgepodge episodes, where we're going to cover a number of smaller topics that we can't really make a whole show out of. And as we were putting these together, we noticed that a lot of them had things to do with food. So we cut out all the other ones. Every topic we're discussing tonight has something to do with food or drink, so I guess it's more of a smorgasbord episode than a hodgepodge episode.
You'll get it here in a minute.
Yeah. Good thing we're not professionals or have any sponsors to keep up with.
That's good.
But I will say, as far as big things going on here, I don't want to bury the lead. And I know a lot of you will probably drop out before this video ends. You want to check this page tomorrow night, Wednesday night. There will be a special guest on our page, and I'm not going to tell you who. We're going to save the surprise. But I promise you it is somebody much, much, much cooler, much, much more well-known, much, much more awesome than any of the three of us could ever be. Somebody's going to be on this page tomorrow night announcing our topic for next week's show. So look at about 6 o'clock Central Time, Wednesday night, for a really cool video here on this page. And I promise you, you won't want to miss it. And that will let you know what our topic will be next week. But next week is next week. It's time to get into our food episode, gentlemen. And a lot of these topics today came from you. Every now and then I'll put up a post and say, give us some show ideas. And several of these have come from your ideas. So we appreciate you doing that. Please continue to do so. Thank you for your support thus far. And let's get on the road. The first topic tonight, I will be mediating. And we're going to be covering the chicken sandwich wars. That weren't really a thing till probably, 6 months ago? Something like that, towards the end of 2019.
August, September.
Yeah, towards the end of 2019, so I guess close to a year ago. But a big chicken sandwich war kind of came out of nowhere. Elrod will be arguing why Chick-fil-A is your better option. Bennett will be arguing why Popeyes is your better option. And Elrod, you have the floor.
Thank you, Rod. It is my pleasure to talk to you about Chick-fil-A tonight. When you think of Chick-fil-A, you think of consistency. 1964, Truett Cathy. You think of the boneless breast of chicken to perfection, hand-breaded, pressure cooked. Look at Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is number 3 on the restaurant list of most profitable restaurants. Behind McDonald's and Starbucks, it has about 60% less locations too. It's amazing. Chick-fil-A is consistent. You look back at 1964 when Mr. Truett Cathy brought Chick-fil-A into the forefront. It's got the white meat chicken. It is the best chicken sandwich on the market. Now, Popeyes comes along last year and tries to interject themselves into the chicken sandwich arena. The problem is Popeyes, I'm going to use a Rutism here. You only rent Popeyes. You don't buy the Popeyes chicken sandwich. Popeyes is very spicy. For people like me that has a weak stomach, you really can't hold the sandwich in very long. With Chick-fil-A, you don't have that. It's smooth. It's smooth. I know you don't want to hear this, but it's true. It's true. But Chick-fil-A, listen, Popeyes is a flash in the pan or a skillet, if you want to get down to it. Popeyes was all the rage last year. I mean, it took 30 minutes to get in line to get one of these chicken sandwiches. Now you can go through the line and get one no problem. Chick-fil-A, even if you're pulling into the drive-thru and the line is out to the road, you get through in 7 minutes. I wish that Chick-fil-A would run TSA, because you can get through the airport in 10 minutes if Chick-fil-A ran the show. But when you look at the Chick-fil-A sandwich, compared it to the Popeyes chicken sandwich, it's not even close. Even a blind taste test was done last year. USA Today, they had people that didn't really know what Chick-fil-A was, really didn't know what Popeyes was as far as a sandwich. They tried it. 56% of the people chose Chick-fil-A over Popeyes. You want to go with the consistent, not the flash in the pan or the skillet.
Minute.
Well, I'll just say that flash in the skillet has been around for 48 years.
Not the sandwich.
So, not the sandwich, but
Not the sandwich.
they were able to perfect fried chicken back in 72. So they're holding their own. They're all right. But, okay. Now, Chick-fil-A, they claim that they invented the chicken sandwich.
He did.
That's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of bragging a little bit. Wow.
Hey,
okay. Maybe they were most likely the first to introduce the chicken sandwich to the fast food market. But the chicken sandwich is supposed to be their claim to fame. That's what they're supposed to be known for. That's basically all they have. That and like some chicken strips. That's it. A salad. Big look. The chicken salad, or the chicken sandwich, you would think would be this outwardly thing that they have. And, you know, it's been regarded for a long time as the best sandwich. Best chicken sandwich, I should say. But there is a new sheriff, or should I say sandwich, in town. Popeyes, like we covered before, they introduced their sandwich back in August of last year, 2019, and it literally caused a fast food pandemonium. It was an instant sellout, and it immediately entered the conversation with Chick-fil-A as the best chicken sandwich, and with good reason, might I add. At $3.99, it is cheaper than Chick-fil-A's. It's overall a bigger sandwich than Chick-fil-A's is $4.29. Popeyes is $3.99. The chicken is crispier and juicier, a fact, and it has better breading. Also, too, the bun they use is better. They use the brioche bun, and the pickle, if you've noticed, it's a little bit more tangy and it has a crunch to it. And every time I've gotten a pickle on my Chick-fil-A sandwich, it's kind of sad. It's just kind of.
Hey, I never get the pickle.
Yeah, see, you don't even use the pickle.
No, but I'm.
Why do they even have the pickle? Anywho, this chicken that I talked about that they perfected back in 72, like I said, it's nestled in with that bun and that pickle, and you can get mayonnaise with it on the regular, or if you like to live on the wild side, you can get their spicy chicken and it has some sort of zesty sauce with it. This sandwich is so good that Popeye saw a 34% increase in sales for the fourth quarter last year, which according to Forbes is a fast food record. Now, if you look at it, I know we've had Chick-fil-A longer, and that's what we've grew up on, but that doesn't make it the best. Look, it takes a real man to admit when we're wrong. I know it's tough. Usually we aren't, but when we are, it's hard to do. But I don't know, I can't believe I'm saying this, but when it comes to chicken sandwiches, Popeyes is better.
Well, valid arguments. I learned more about Elrod than I wanted to know tonight, for sure. Elrod, I gotta say, there were people upset with you last week over your coverage of Marvel. They felt like you left out a lot of key points. I feel like you left out a lot of key points for Chick-fil-A.
What, the cow?
I think you left out that they're the third most profitable company and they're only open 6 days a week.
Yeah, I mean,
I think you left out that they are the Lord's chicken.
they are no. Jesus would want you to pick me tonight, right, for this category. He would.
Um,
Don't let him down.
So, wow. um, I had preconceived notions coming in here, and if I'm going strictly off the arguments, Bennett beat you again. But what saves you in this one, like in Marvel versus DC, I didn't know a lot about it. In this argument, I do know quite a bit. And while Bennett just came really close to swaying me off my preconceived notion,
Gosh.
step your game up, Elrod. I regret to say
You giving me a win?
that Elrod has finally gotten a win on this show. But do not take that as a compliment. Do not take that as a good thing, because Bennett almost overcame a mountain that was in his way to start with.
Got it.
We're going to Popeyes tomorrow. We're going to Popeyes.
Elrod, I believe you're mediating the next topic. Speaking of sandwiches.
Yes. A lot of people out here believe that a hot dog is a sandwich. Some people out here does not believe a hot dog is a sandwich. So tonight, we're going to settle this mano a mano. So according to my notes here, he's going first. I think, Bennett, you're taking the position that it's not a sandwich. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, convince me.
All right. Let me ask you a question. Actually, before I do that, let's go back to the beginning. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Well, to put it quite frankly, no, it is not. Anywho, okay, that was my bad joke. Okay. So here's my question. When you get up in the morning, you don't have time to cook breakfast, you run off, you go to McDonald's, Hardee's, wherever. We're not going to Chick-fil-A, I'm sore subject. But you go up to the drive-thru, do you order a sausage sandwich? No, you get a sausage biscuit. What about at lunchtime? You get a little hungry, like, I'm going to go through the drive-thru real quick and let me just order me a ground beef patty sandwich. No, you get a hamburger. So why would we call a hot dog a sandwich? It is what it is. Why put a label on it? There's a fine gentleman by the name of Joey Chestnut. May have heard of him, 12-time Nathan's hot dog eating contest winner. He knows a little bit about hot dogs. And they asked him the same question, did he think a hot dog was a sandwich? And he said no. He also went on to say that hot dogs ought to stand free and independent from the tyranny that is the sandwich. Speaking of independence, the hot dog is one of America's most iconic foods. Just to simply call it a sandwich would be a travesty, and it'd downright be basically un-American. So, Elrod, are you American?
Ooh.
Or are you un-American?
Ooh. Ooh.
Wow.
All right. Right. Why is it a sandwich?
Well, Elrod, I got to say, Bennett is very charismatic, very flashy. Great way of arguing his point there, which is what you have to use. You have to use a lot of flash when your argument doesn't have a lot of substance. Just the facts is what we're going to look at here. Elrod, answer me a question. You are of the legal profession. When in a courtroom, when a judge is using a law, from the code. He determines that law verbatim by what is written in the code, correct?
Yes.
When we're talking about defining things, what would be the most trusted source for getting the definition of something?
Probably a dictionary.
A dictionary. And when it comes to dictionaries, what brand, what company has been the most trusted source in defining words for years and years and years, almost usurping the word dictionary and taking it over themselves?
Probably Mr. Webster.
Merriam-Webster dictionary. And Merriam-Webster defines a sandwich as such: two or more slices of bread or a split roll having a filling in between.
Mm. Mm.
Elrod, when you look at a hot dog bun, what is that made of?
It's a bun sliced with something in the middle.
But the bun is bread, correct?
I would think so.
The bun is bread. Sometimes that bun breaks apart. When it breaks apart, you could say you had two pieces of bread. But even if it doesn't, you would call it a split roll.
Mm.
All right, I want you to think about when you go to Subway and you get a meatball sandwich.
I would never get a meatball sandwich.
Well, say you get a turkey sandwich.
I would never get a turkey sandwich.
Oh my
What do you
gosh.
get at Subway, Elrod? Chicken?
Ham and cheese.
Cookies.
Ham
He
and
gets
cheese.
cookies.
Cookies. Fair. Touche on that one. But ham and cheese sandwich. Do you get two pieces of bread or do they cut one open?
They cut one open.
Exactly. It's one piece of bread and they put the ham and cheese in there. Is that a sandwich?
Probably.
It is. It's a ham and cheese sandwich. So what would be the difference in putting a hot dog? Because a hot dog, in and of itself, the wiener, so to speak, that's the hot dog. But when you put the hot dog in the bun to complete the package, whether you're comfortable admitting it or not, and a lot of people aren't, it's weird to think so, but Merriam-Webster has just told us that by definition, a hot dog is in fact a sandwich. It may not be flashy, it may not be comfortable, but facts is facts, my friend. Hot dog is a sandwich.
I don't consider a hot dog a sandwich, but if you're going by the literal dictionary meaning, it is a sandwich. So as bad as I want to give you the victory, Bennett, and I do agree with you that it's probably not a sandwich, the dictionary says otherwise. So I will give this round to Sir Brett.
The assist to Merriam-Webster. Thank you, as you have helped me through many research papers, through many speeches. You have now helped me on my Convince Me show.
Well, I'm just off to a hot start here. Okay, so we've determined, well, we come to an answer on what the best chicken sandwich was. We didn't determine what the real best chicken sandwich is. That's still up for debate. And we've solved one of life's greatest mysteries in regards to the hot dog. But you know what pairs good with a nice chicken sandwich or a nice hot dog? Not a hot dog sandwich, a hot dog.
A good Pepsi.
A nice ice cold soft drink.
Oh, Coke Zero.
But-
You bring that
but-
crap on the show?
We have a predicament, fellas. Is it Coke or is it Pepsi? Rhett, lead us off. Which one is it?
Well, as any of our returning viewers will know, as I can be seen in pretty much every episode of this show, when I get a break from speaking, I take a nice sip of a Coca-Cola Zero,
How much
which
they
I
paying
have
you?
with me today. You know, there was the great Cola Wars of the 1980s. It was a big deal. Coke versus Pepsi. I mean, it's mentioned in Billy Joel's "We Didn't Start the Fire." That's how big a deal this war was. But let's be completely honest. This hasn't been a war for a long time. Hands down, the winner of this argument is Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is an iconic brand, one of the most iconic brands in the world. You look at Nike, you look at McDonald's, you look at all these, Apple, all these just worldwide iconic brands. And one of them, if you take off the zero sugar down here, is this Coca-Cola. It's an iconic brand, but we can say it's an iconic brand. I can tell you which one I like better. But just like in my last argument, let's look at the facts. And the facts in this is, as of a few years ago, Coca-Cola has a 17% of the American market share on carbonated beverages. 17% is number one. You know what number two is? Not Pepsi. Number two is Diet Coke. So therefore, Pepsi is not better than Diet Coke. It's sure not better than Coke. Pepsi came in third with 8% of that market share. And when we want to look at trusted sources, we look at a Rasmussen Reports poll from a few years ago. Very trusted polling source. 73%, nearly 3/4 of American adults have at least a somewhat favorable opinion of Coca-Cola, including 34%, more than 1/3 of American adults that would consider themselves very favorable to Coca-Cola over Pepsi, and only 8% in the entire United States, as far as this poll is concerned, that found Coca-Cola very unfavorable. Money talks, the market share talks, and according to the Rasmussen Report poll from a few years ago, people talk, and it's undisputed, it's Coca-Cola.
You know, you're right, Rod. Money does talk. What you failed to mention was, in terms of the annual revenue right now, Pepsi has $20 billion more in more revenue based on the stuff they own and the properties they own. Let's be honest. Coke has the brand. Coke does have the brand. They've been playing catch up for the better part of 50 years when it comes to Coca-Cola. But Coke may have the brand and the sizzle, but Pepsi has the substance and the taste. The difference, I like both of these drinks. Pepsi is it's sweeter. When you take a Pepsi, or even a Diet Pepsi, I don't like any of the Diet drinks, but Pepsi is just sweeter than Coca-Cola is. It's got less sodium, but it's got more caffeine than Coca-Cola does. So if you're in the morning and if you're gonna go to work or something like that, you would rather have a Pepsi to give you a pick-me-up rather than a Coke. And you talk about Coke, Rod, you talk about the brand. You haven't talked about the biggest marketing disaster of all time, which is attributable to Coca-Cola. New Coke about killed the Coca-Cola brand back in the 80s when they changed their formula. Pepsi's never had a mistake like that or a misstep.
Pepsi set Michael Jackson's hair on fire.
What about Crystal Pepsi?
Boom.
Not as bad as New Coke, though. New Coke is even talked about in Stranger Things even today, if you've watched that. Let's look at the different side drinks that these company manufactures. Coke has Mellow Yellow and Sprite in Powerade. Pepsi, Mountain Dew. 7-Up, Gatorade. Doritos, and Frito-Lay. This is the reason why Pepsi's brand has $20 billion more in net revenue right now than Coca-Cola does. Pepsi is looking to the future. It was branded for a younger generation than Coke, and right now their brand is on the uptick. And Coke, you can't even get Mellow Yellow anywhere. You can't get it at Sonic. You can get it at the store, but if you want Mellow Yellow or a drink like that, you're going to be lucky to get one. But Pepsi, you want a Mountain Dew, you can get a Mountain Dew anywhere around here. Pepsi's much sweeter. Coca-Cola has more sodium, so there's a better chance of dying if you drink Coca-Cola. So Pepsi, much better for you and much better tasting than Coca-Cola, as he drinks his Coke Zero.
This one's a toughie because I enjoy both, and it really depends on what kind of mood I'm in. If you just look at Pepsi versus Coke, I think I lean more towards Pepsi if you just compare the two. But when you go out a little bit further, you've got Mountain Dew and Mellow Yellow. And I love Mountain Dew. It's probably my biggest weakness. But I also really like Mellow Yellow. And you could find Mellow Yellow too if you look for it. Granted, it's not as easy to find as your Mountain Dew is. Then you kind of back out a little bit further. Then, like you said, you know, Pepsi has Gatorade. I like Gatorade, but also love Powerade. And I think I like Powerade more than Gatorade, especially being a Florida State fan. I just can't do Gatorade.
I knew this was going to come in.
I couldn't do that. Oh, here we go. Okay, move back a little bit further. And here, hasn't been too long ago, we took a trip to Atlanta. And we went to the Coca-Cola Museum, and just going there and seeing all the memorabilia they had and just how iconic it was and how Coca-Cola can connect people from across the world. I thought that was pretty amazing. At the very end of it, they have this thing where you can try different brands of Coca-Cola from around the world that suit other tastes. So kind of when you think of the brand as a whole, you have Coca-Cola that's worldwide. And I know that for a fact. I'm not sure about Pepsi, if it's as popular in other countries as it is here. So when you put everything together, gosh, this is tough. When you put everything together, I'm going to have to go with Coke. That's tough.
Cheers to you, Mr. Bennett. Cheers to you.
Coca-Cola had cocaine in it, Bennett, when it was first when
I
its
know.
formula
I
was
went
brought
to the
market.
museum.
Are you supporting drug dealers right now?
Hey, I was a wall away from the original recipe. Granted, I couldn't get in there, but I was that close.
You know, only 2 people at a time know the Coca-Cola formula.
Yes.
And it's
can't
that
be
along with
together.
the KFC formula are the 2 biggest as far as secrets there are in food. It's pretty cool. But
You know, there are a lot of people.
Coca-Cola is just a little bit. What?
I was going to say, go ahead.
Coca-Cola is just a little bit bigger piece of Americana, I think, but it's so close.
I was just
people
say,
collect Coca-Cola memorabilia. I don't see people collecting a whole lot of Pepsi memorabilia.
that's the reason I said the brand. Like, you can't compete with the Coke brand. I mean, all the antique Coke signs and everything, Coke bottles.
Anywho.
And there's a conglomerate of people that would have given it to Coca-Cola purely based on the fact that they used to use cocaine. You said that like it was a negative, and I agree it's negative, but there's a lot of people would have viewed that as probably a positive.
Supporting drug dealers. Okay.
All right. Well, Bennett transitioned saying that with a sandwich or a hot dog, you needed a cool drink to cool it down. And I agree, but a lot of times when we order food, when we order a sandwich, we get a drink, but we also get a side item. And I would say that 85-90% of the time, that side item that we pick, especially if we're at a fast food place, we're going to get us a side of the great American tradition of French fries. Now, there have been a lot of debates. There are a lot of contenders in this argument that we're about to cover, and we're only arguing between 2 contenders. But we were talking about the best fries. And Bennett, we're going to you first. Convince me that McDonald's is our best option for fries.
Do we even have to have this debate? We could go ahead and skip. I don't think this will even be close. Okay, we'll go ahead and debate it. Sure. Okay. To me, it has to be McDonald's. Every other fast food chain, whenever you eat one of their fries and you try them for the first time, maybe your friend's with you, and you're like, well, I'll try them. When you try them, they're like, is it good? We're like, well, yeah, it's not bad. What do they say? Well, compare it to a McDonald's fry. How good is it? We always compare any kind of fry we try for the first time to McDonald's. I mean, not only is McDonald's fries an iconic part of American fast food history, but they're also world renowned. They sell 7 million pounds of fries every day. They've stood the test of time. They were one of the original menu items at the very first McDonald's way back in 1949, and we still have them today. That's pretty incredible. And speaking of today, when you go to McDonald's, their fries is their number one selling item. They're the perfect balance of, you've got your saltiness, you've got your good flavor, you've got the texture. A lot of fries that you have are either way too crunchy or they're like way too soft. These are perfect. They're golden crispy on the outside, but they're still fluffy. Got this fluffy baked potato on the inside. Another thing, other than just taste, that's a big deal, at least for me, is the appearance of them. When you're given your tray and you have McDonald's fries on there, you get that little red box that has the golden arches on it, and there they sit in there beautifully. And even so, if you were to take the fries and dump them out on the tray, and you took a picture of them, and then you sent it to somebody's like, oh man, you've got McDonald's fries. When you see their fries, you automatically know that it's McDonald's fries. Do you know what Five Guys does with their fries when they give them to you? They put them in this little bitty little white cup, and then they chuck it in the bag. So then when you get it, you have like 6 fries in this little sad white cup, and you have about 60 fries in the bottom of your bag. Do you know how annoying that is when you're trying to eat your fries and you're like, Anywho, the New York Times said the following about McDonald's French fries. It's a fry that can emerge with enough crispiness to stand up to the hamburger, enough taste to go with a lobster roll, and the right stuff to stand proud on its own. So to me, if you're wanting the best fries, just look for the golden arches.
Elrod, Five Guys. Tell me why.
Bennett, I would have agreed with you if we're eating a McDonald's fry from the 90s or early 2000s, but not anymore. McDonald's has lost its way with their French fries. Go to a McDonald's around here. The McDonald's French fry that you will have today is nothing like it used to be. It's smaller, has a different taste, a different texture. The best fry, you're right, it is no contest. It is Five Guys. And it's really what goes into a Five Guys French fry. Five Guys only uses potatoes from Idaho. I was always curious why you would eat peanuts when you go to Five Guys, but it's got to do with the cooking oil. They only use peanut cooking oil. So that's a reason for the peanuts. Five Guys, Business Insider voted Five Guys #1, McDonald's #2 in a recent poll. You're right about the French fries. They put them in the bag, but that bag is filled up with French fries. You're lucky to get any fries at McDonald's. Any fries in a little cup anymore. Have you been to a McDonald's lately, Bennett?
Yeah, I was a couple of days ago.
Did you get more than 15 fries in the container?
I did.
I had it.
And his little Happy Meal. They have a little bitty little box for those kids. It's awesome.
Well, I will say this. Five Guys French fries are probably the most unhealthy things you can eat. If you look at the calorie content, it's twice their competitors. They've got 68 grams of fat, which is about 6 Krispy Kreme donuts if you just eat the regular size. But who's going to a fast food place for the health? You're going there to eat good French fries. You're not going there because you suddenly want to go on a health diet or something like that. You're going there for a good French fry. And McDonald's back in the day, there was nobody. Burger King tried, Wendy's tried. Nobody could catch McDonald's. But here lately, what I've learned, it was like it's a chemical taste. And even Business Insider pointed out McDonald's used to be number one, but that chemical aftertaste that the French fries have now, it's not just me, it's other people have noticed it too. And it's got to do with the oil. McDonald's has changed the oil in their fryer in the last couple of years. It's supposed to be healthier, but it's took away the taste of the McDonald's French fry from the 90s or 2000s. Five Guys might be the least healthy, but you're going to get a whole bag of them. They may be overflowing out that bag. Much better French fry today than their McDonald's counter.
All right, both of you, fantastic arguments. Elrod, you didn't flub this one. Good job. Bennett made the point that McDonald's sells 7 million pounds of French fries a day. I think Five Guys is close. They put about 1.5 million pounds in one bag the last time I went there. They load you up. You got to dig through the fries to find your burger. Kind of annoying, but also it's kind of a fun concept. For anybody watching that's never ordered Five Guys fries, never buy the large. You're going to get a bag full regardless of what size you get. Buy the small. You're still going to get more than you can eat. And you're right, Elrod. Nobody eats fast food for the health. But there's a lot of good competitors in this argument. I had Burger King for lunch today. I like Burger King's fries. They're pretty good. But if I had to put it down to two, it would be Five Guys and it would be McDonald's. Both great French fries. But at the end of the day, Elrod, I gave you one earlier. I can't give you two. This one, the winner is again, it's just iconic. They've changed it. And I agree, they're not as good as they used to be, but they went from the top of the mountain to the top of a smaller mountain. They're still on top. Bennett, it didn't take a lot of work, but you've convinced me that McDonald's has the best fry.
All right. You couldn't give me two, so I guess I'll have to pay you back on down the line. There's a time of the year when you get a knock on the door from some little girls and their mother, and they're begging you to buy Girl Scout cookies. Now, there's a big debate on which is the best Girl Scout cookie. So tonight, our fourth debate is going to be, well, what is the best Girl Scout cookie? So, Rod, how about you start us off? What is the best Girl Scout cookie out there?
Well, I changed my answer on this from what we had originally discussed. But either way, here's the thing. I know I'm fighting an uphill battle here. Thin Mints are universally regarded as one of the best. They're Bennett's favorite. Bennett's going to be arguing Thin Mints, but I have to say, I prefer my toothpaste on a toothbrush and not covered in chocolate, because that's exactly what Thin Mints taste like. A toothbrush or toothpaste covered in chocolate. You know what's fantastic covered in chocolate? Elrod, you've known me a while. What is my favorite candy in the entire world?
Reese's.
Reese's. Oh, Reese's. And what is the combination of a Reese's?
Peanut butter.
And
chocolate.
Peanut butter and chocolate. Holy cow. Better than sex. It's such a fantastic combination. Peanut butter and chocolate.
You thought I went too far earlier.
But the thing is, I'm stating facts. I'm stating facts. I am sexualizing a combination of food. I am a fat guy. That's what I do. Peanut butter and chocolate together, and you add a shortbread cookie in there? Come on. The tag along. If you're buying Girl Scout cookies, if you want to support these annoying little brats and their mothers who have a quota to meet, buy a box of Girl Scout cookies, but don't buy the Thin Mints. Just brush your teeth and put a little bit of chocolate on there. Buy the Tagalongs. Hands down, the best Girl Scout cookie.
All right, Bennett. Why is it Thin Mints?
Thin Mints are the greatest Girl Scout cookie of all time. And this isn't my opinion. I'd love to say that, but I'm speaking on behalf of the people. Thin Mints are a classic that everybody knows. It's an iconic cookie if you want to have a history of cookies. And it's a #1 top seller for the Girl Scouts. And like Rhett said, it's a cookie that's coated in chocolate with a chocolate crispy wafer inside. And there is a hint of mint, but it is not that overpowering. It just comes in at the end. You get a nice little mint. It's like, you know those Andes chocolates you get when you go to like Olive Garden?
Yes.
It's
Those
like
are
one of
horrible,
those,
sir.
except better. Oh, I love those too. Oh,
Great name, terrible taste.
basically, okay, Rut described it, but he did so kind of in a way that made him sound bad. You just can't do that. A Thin Mint is like a delicious breath freshener, is basically what it is. It's a classic. It's an enduring classic, is what it is. It's been around since 1939. Back then, though, they were called Cookie Mints instead of Thin Mints, which is kind of fun because they spelled cookie with a Y. It's cute. Look it up. It's fantastic. Not only are these delicious, they're very versatile too. You can take Thin Mints, pop them in the freezer. I'm looking at it right now, and you've got a whole other element of your Girl Scout cookie. It brings a whole new meaning to them. Or you can take them and dip them in chocolate, and you get a whole other experience with them. Or if you're old school, you can just get them right from the pack and eat them. And the good thing about Thin Mints that a lot of the other ones don't have is you get 32 of these bad boys in a box. A lot of the other ones you get like 18, 16, sometimes 20. You get 32 of these. That's your value right there. That is your value. According to the Girl Scouts website, they are their #1 bestseller, and they account for 25% of all their sales. And they have 12 different varieties of cookies. Some of the more well-respected online polls that I found, Delish.com, Washington Post, and Fox Business all ranked them it's #1. There were several others, but if I named them all, we'd be here all night. So I just went through the big boys there. Thin Mints have proved themselves for 80 some odd years now. And if I could, I'd like to quote the great Ricky Bobby. And he said, if you're not first, you're last. And the numbers don't lie. They are the best-selling Girl Scout cookie. So that makes them statistically the best cookie.
Right. I'm going to let you have a rebuttal here. Why are tagalongs not #1 in these studies that Bennett has talked about?
Because, Elrod, I don't mean this aimed at any of our viewers of this fine show. I don't mean this aimed at either of you two gentlemen. But the vast majority of the public, on a lot of topics, and social media has brought this out in waves over the last few years, but a majority of the people in our society are stupid and uneducated.
But
And
not our listeners.
just being on the popular side of an argument is not always the best way to go. So I take my stand. I may be looked down on for my stand. It may be an unpopular opinion. But like I said, I've got Colgate here at the house every day when I'm buying my yearly Girl Scout cookies, I'm getting tag-along.
Well, there was a saying,
Corona.
ball don't lie, and neither do the numbers in this. So can't go wrong with the Thin Mints. Can't go wrong with the numbers. Thin Mints over tag-alongs. Bennett wins this one. Ball don't lie.
I did it for the people.
The
It's
downtrodden.
the people's champ.
Oh boy. Okay.
This
next
one,
topic.
this one is going to get heated. This next one.
This next topic is what I really look forward to. This one right here is going to be our most controversial topic of tonight. This has been known to divide families, to break up friendships. There's been literal fist fights. I've seen videos of these people that came to somebody's house to deliver them this, and they noticed what's on it, and they took a swing at the person delivering
Good
it.
for them.
No
Good
lie.
for them.
And if you were to travel to Italy, you will not see this on a pizza.
Nope.
But let's talk about it. Elrod, tell me why. Convince me why pineapple belongs on a pizza.
Bennett, I think I'm the only one here that's worked in a pizza place. And I've probably eaten more pizza in my life than both of you combined, even though both of you are older than me. I probably have. Whenever somebody would come in, I won't tell you what pizza place I've worked at, but whenever someone would come in and order pineapple on a pizza, I would be so grossed out because it goes against nature. It goes against common sense to put pineapple on a pizza. A pizza is really three things if you want to get down to it. There's the bread or the dough, there's a mozzarella cheese, marinara sauce, and a choice of meat. That is what it's been for hundreds of years from old Italy. Fast forward a couple centuries. This has only been a recent thing. In 1962, ham and pineapple pizza, or the Hawaiian pizza, as you know it by. It's all built on a lie. It didn't come from Hawaii. It came from Canada. The Canadians forced this monstrosity on us all. Pineapples do not belong on a pizza. It's not a dough. It's not a sauce. It's not a cheese. It's not a meat. It's a fruit. A fruit does not belong on one of the staples of our culture. Pizza is ingrained in our culture, and you're trying to change it. You're trying to change it, and you cannot do this. It goes against, like I said, common sense. It goes against logic to try to say that pineapple. Let me put it to you like this. If you tried to order a pizza tonight, and let's say you did a half pizza, half of it's pepperoni, other half is ham and pineapple, or just half is pineapple. That smell of the pineapple, even though it's not on the side of the pepperoni, you're still going to smell it. It's terrible. So if you don't like it, but the other person does, you're still going to taste it in your mouth. You're going to smell it. It does not belong on a pizza. Some people swear it's the greatest thing ever, but it's not. It is not in the very logic of old Italy. You're taking Italy, and you're punching in the face, and you're spitting in the face of these fine people when you try to put such a monstrosity on a pizza. Pineapples need to be in Hawaii and whatever else you use pineapples for, because I sure as heck don't need it. But they do not need to be on a pizza.
All right, Rhett, what do you think?
Well, Mr. Elrod seems to be a tyrant on a tirade here. And he wants to defend old Italy, and he's coming across very much like Mussolini in this argument here. And he wants to preach common sense, but he shows a lack of common sense in his answer. Yes, the concept comes from Canada, and nothing good comes from Canada, except it does. Jim Carrey came from Canada.
Oh,
Chris Stratus came from Canada. The most successful sports team in this state right now, or at least over the last few years,
oh my
has been
gosh.
the Nashville Predators. Hockey that came from Canada. So you want to say, oh, it's made in Canada. It got nothing to do with what.
Not what I
You
said.
said
Not
that
what I said.
doesn't necessarily make it a bad thing. Here's the thing. That combination of sweet and salty has worked everywhere else in the food world. Chocolate dipped pretzels is a thing that people love. Trail mix is one of my personal favorites when you mix that sweet and that salty together. And I got a grin on my face, Elrod, when you said a fruit doesn't belong on a pizza. What's a tomato, Elrod?
That's different. That is the sauce. Sauce.
Tomatoes is
You're
a
not putting a
fruit.
tomato on a pizza.
It's
You're
a
putting
fruit.
the sauce. You're not putting a literal tomato on a pizza. You're not doing that.
Literal people
They do
do
in
get
Italy.
literal tomatoes on a pizza.
It's not
And
normal.
it's a fruit. Here's
not
the
normal.
thing. Bennett, do you like anchovies on a pizza?
No, not really. It just doesn't sound appealing to me.
But it's a pizza topping, right?
Yes.
Okay, my point being, just because you don't like it doesn't mean that it doesn't belong there. I don't necessarily like pineapple on my pizza, but I'm not going to go on some tirade and say it doesn't belong there. Look, I hate onions. I hate peppers. I hate olives. People put that on pizza all the time, and nobody is in an uproar over these things. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it doesn't belong. One of the biggest problems in our world, the way it is right now, is I'm going to go back to people being stupid. Just because they don't agree with it, then that means it can't be true. And if it's something that they don't agree with, it's a lie. But if it's they do agree with it, then it's the truth. Just because you don't like the pineapple doesn't mean it doesn't belong there. It is a pizza topping. It is a top 10 pizza topping according to, I think it was a New York Times article I read earlier today. I should have written that down and done better research. You don't like it. That's fine. I don't like it either. But who are we to say that it doesn't belong there? 99% of the world people don't like anchovies on their pizza. But everybody agrees that that's a pizza topping. A lot of us don't like pineapple on our pizza. But whether you like it or not, it's a pizza topping.
Bennett, a pineapple needs to be under the sea where SpongeBob lives, not on a pizza.
Under the sea. Okay.
Oh, don't let my kid hear you singing that.
This is an interesting take for me because for the past 8 years, I've had a very unique opportunity to work side by side with Italians on a daily basis. And for those 8 years and counting, they've all told me the same thing, that absolutely not, no pineapple on pizza. They will fight you. They will literally fight you. And even my boss, I'll get him riled up sometimes about, hey man, let's call some Papa John's or something. Let's get some pizza. He's like, oh, okay. What kind? I was like, let's get pineapple. And he'll go, no, absolutely not. So I get a kick out of that. And also here in America, if you go to some of these, especially more like your Chicago style restaurants, your New York style restaurants, to a fancy pizza place, the chefs that make the pizza will flat out refuse to put pineapples on their pizza. They refuse to. They said, I will not do that. But, and I've had pineapple on pizza. It's not my favorite. I don't like it or dislike it. It's okay. I've also had real Italian pizza, and real Italian pizza is nothing like our American pizza. So to say that we are doing an injustice to Italy because putting pineapples on our pizza, we're already doing an injustice to Italy because the way that we do our pizza is way off from the way that they do their pizza. So I say all that to say that this isn't Italy. This is America. And if you want to put pineapple on your pizza, you have the right to do so. So pineapple does belong on a pizza. God bless pineapple on pizza, and God bless the United States.
Suck on that one, Mussolini. All right, well, I've done a tally, and your winner tonight, winning 3 of his 4 battles, me again.
Boo.
And Bennett coming in second with 2 wins.
Wait a minute. Wait, hold the line. Who did I give the win to on the hold on. Who did I give the win to on the sandwich?
You gave it to me. You said that.
You sure it wasn't Bennett?
I'm 100% sure. Do we need an instant replay?
No.
Exactly.
I'm still upset about this. We're going. We're going.
But Elrod, you may have come in last. That's not fun. That's never fun. But there are such things as moral victories. And tonight, on our 7th episode of Convince Me, you, Sir Elrod, have broken the streak. A very Hawkins-esque streak you had going has been broken, and you have gotten your first win. Our gimmick is killed. Nobody will ever watch this again now. But we lost our edge. So, all right, guys. We hope you liked that. Our first Hodgepodge episode, our Food Smorgasbord episode. That was a lot of fun. We want more of your suggestions that we want to throw together. Like I said at the top of the show, make sure you're looking at this page tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. You're going to find out what our topic is for next week, much earlier than normal. And there's a special guest telling you who it is. And I'm really looking forward to you guys seeing it because I know all 3 of us are very, very excited about that happening. We're excited we were able to pull it off. But a very special guest announcing our next show, and they will tell you what the topic of that will be. Again, thanks for joining us, gentlemen. Any parting words?
Off the snide, baby. Off the snide.
That was fun. I enjoyed it. We'll have to do another one of those soon.
That was fun. I hope we settled every question.
Wait a minute. Time out. I hope y'all both choke on a pineapple pizza. That's my wish for both of you.
I won't eat it, but it's my right to if I wanted to. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next week. Look for our special guest tomorrow to tell you what we're talking about next week. And until next time, thanks for joining us. Peace.